I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
And that is a base hit to left. Terang breaks up the no-hitter in the seventh.
On another pitch that was out of the strike zone, a sweeper.
Ground ball to short. Adames has it with time, and the Giants hang on to a 1-0 victory. The Brewers had that tying run on with nobody out and could not bring them home. The Giants get one in the series finale coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, Brewers had runners in scoring position with an opportunity to plate a run in 3 of the last 4 innings. Just not able to get it done.
If there was a different intro song that we picked for this morning, it would be the Mama Said There'll Be Days Like This. And it's luckily only the 3rd time this season. So Mr. Optimistic is not even close to worry today. Mr. Realism, different story.
Maybe. Yeah.
What's up, Wisconsin? Inside Wisconsin Sports on your radio statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
All of you from these studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. One on the chin. Here's the good news. Giants won. Brewers nothing. One, as in like one pitch.
Right.
That's literally it.
Yeah. It's only one. Like, you only had to beat one.
Yeah. These things happen. Let's play catch up.
Packers.
Hi, Micah Parsons. How are you? Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Great to hear from you. And not news that it should have surprised any of us. He talked yesterday about how it's been, what he's up to, how's the recovery, how's his mentals in terms of accepting where he's at and what he has to do and what, frankly, he can't do in order to make sure that they stay very strict to the 9-month window from date of surgery to able to play. And that's where the difference comes in terms of some of the math that we've done in the past. Micah Parsons shared yesterday with the media that he had surgery on December 29th. So, math-wise, from December 30th or day 1, and 9 months later is September 30th, which means he's out for sure for the first 4 games. Good news, there's something called the PUP.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this, the physically unable to perform. The problem with the PUP is that you can't practice while you're on the PUP. And so his first full week of practice after ACL surgery would be Sunday, October 11th return against the Bears. That's where we kind of had it earmarked that we thought he would come back. I would say if I'm a betting man, which I am, it's the Cowboys game, which, let's be real, that's poetic.
Right. It definitely would not surprise anyone. Although it was just him laying out the timeline yesterday that I think had a lot of people going, oh, that's interesting. Like, I didn't know that the Packers had a rule. I don't know that when the injury first happened and we were seeing the clips of him like rehabbing as quickly and we were like, this guy's a monster. Like, good luck keeping him off the field.
Do you remember who put that thought in our head?
I don't.
Hafley. Jeff Hafley said in a presser.
You're right.
He thought, I wouldn't be surprised if Micah Parsons set a record for coming back. Horse poop. It's 9 months, bud. Like A to B. That's it. Nothing faster. Micah talked about how Nate Weir, the head athletic trainer, became his wife. Nobody in his family texted him more.
Yep.
No, he didn't talk to anybody over the last XYZ number of months since his injury more than Nate Weir. That's great.
Yeah.
That is really cool to hear. Later in the show, we talk a little bit about, all right, if no Sweat and no Parsons, now what? Parsons did come out, though, in his deal and talk about how different the Packers organization is. And he mentioned, why is so many people down on Lucas Van Ness? Now, we talked yesterday that it would be nice to have Sweat because wouldn't that be nice?
Right.
And I also said, I think the Packers organization sees something with Lucas Van Ness that we haven't been able to see yesterday. If Micah Parsons is saying Lucas Van Ness should not be undervalued, I'm good.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely think that's still the case. I don't think that Lucas Van Ness is terrible. I think it's just if you see the ability and opportunity to upgrade, you get interested, right? And so that was what happened with Sweat. But we also find out then yesterday, Ian Rappaport goes on Twitter and goes, yeah, since this is getting some social media run, I thought I would just step in and say, nothing's happening here.
Yeah, Schneid told us that the day before as well. He made a contact and was like, I haven't heard. I feel like I would have known about this. What's this? To which they, whoever they are, said, this is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet. But how funny. How funny if someone types in the right keywords with absolute non-realistic sourced information whatsoever can start a rumor like this. America.
Right. I wonder how many of those, like an actual situation has come from a rumor too. Like, you ever think about that? Like, I wonder if Goody sees something and goes, that's not a bad idea. I could reach out to them, see if they take it. You know what I mean? Just to put it out there.
I'm going to go ahead and bet that Brian Gutekunst isn't spending any time on social media. Must be nice.
Yeah.
I think
must
about
be
that
nice.
a lot.
Anyway, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Honor Josh, at Trevor Thomas IW, and of course at WI Sports Radio. Okay.
All's well with the Brewers. Let's move on.
Brewers.
Took it on the chin. And in sports, this happens.
Yes, it does. Although, when was it was recent, but when was the last time we avoided the no-no? Was it last week? 2 weeks?
And won the game.
Yeah, and then we ended up winning. Crazy turnaround. But I think that was into the 8th, I want to say, that they were being no-hit. And now here we are this week with another opportunity through the 7th. This time they can't come back. They had opportunities this time too.
Mm-hmm.
Many opportunities, as you heard Rock say there at the end of the intro. Just in multiple innings to end the game, they had runners in scoring position. They had opportunities to bring that guy home, and they just flubbed them away.
Third time this season. Only the third time this season the Brewers have been shut out. Many people online last night on Twitter and the like were like, see, told you we need a bat. I couldn't disagree more. We're going to break this down significantly over the course of the show. We're going to do it now a little bit, and then we're also going to do it in the 8 o'clock hour again, just to make sure that we're hitting all of our points. But Josh, tell me why you think this is proof that we need bats.
I think that it's proof that your bats can go ice cold at any time. I feel like that's the big factor. People are saying, well, we need a batter, we need a pitcher, and this can happen. And I said it so much last year, towards the end of last year, of you just need to be the hot team. Like, can we not be the team that goes ice cold, which we've seen happen way too often with our offense? I go back and I think about when we had Corbin Burns, which, by the way, ADD moment, but did you see that news with Corbin Burns?
No,
he's got an injury. He's going to be out until September, and it might be like him just putting off like a Tommy John surgery. Yeah.
Do we get those right or what?
It's wild. And
It really
so
is.
there's that. But we had him and Woody, and yet the only person that could hit was Rowdy Tellez. And so it was, if the Brewers are going to win a game, it was going to be 1-0. So I still have those stick out in my mind. And then, of course, you go against the Dodgers series where the bats were also ice cold. The point being that it doesn't matter who you have on the mound if your lineup goes ice cold. Now, also, Webb just had an amazing game last night.
There's that.
Incredible game. You know who else pitches incredible games? Good pitchers in the postseason, which is why exactly you got to take advantage of any time that they mess up, any slip up, which is why it's so important to have a power bat that can do that with one swing, which is exactly, by the way, what the Giants did. The Giants did not crush the Brewers last night. They hit one home run. It was not they had bases loaded multiple times, and one of the times they got a sac fly to bring a guy in. No. Gasser actually pitched pretty darn good. There was one pitch. That they took advantage of and out of the park. So that's the argument for not necessarily being I'm off of Skubal and super on a bat, but just saying I don't know necessarily that Skubal's the answer. Because even if you're pitching super well, if he misses up one time and someone takes him yard and the lineup goes ice cold, you're going to see this happen in the postseason.
But what makes a lineup go ice cold? Unbelievable pitching.
Which is what you're going to see in the postseason.
Exactly, which is why the Brewers have to have more. Gasser is not the answer. He came in on an Uber from O'Hare and shared with his we talked about that yesterday. By the way,
yeah, wild.
Who has more information?
Right.
Somebody on Twitter with a little blue check mark that says they work report for or an Uber driver.
I know. I tweeted that out immediately. I was like, well, there's your answer between the two.
Did you see that the news broke with Jordan Love and his wife and them having their first child? Right. We saw that. We saw that the baby was born and all that.
Yep.
I knew about that the day or two after it happened.
Okay.
Why? Uber Eats.
Oh, that's amazing.
Talk. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, listen to the Uber drivers.
The Uber drivers are the best sources we have.
They go right to the source. If an Uber driver has information, that's because Robert Gasser was in the car.
Right. It sucks that Giannis drives himself places. Get Giannis in an Uber.
Right. Although there's news there too. But hear me out on this. I remember a story, and I'm going to mention this in the 8 o'clock hour again as well. I remember a story about a mathematician or a statistician in a research group at Columbia University. I looked this up this morning to make sure I got it right. That was analyzing World War II planes that made it back. And what they were doing was they were analyzing where the majority of the damage was on these planes so that they could protect those areas. Somebody along the way went, time out. I have questions. These are the planes that made it back. What about the planes that didn't make it back? What about all of the areas that these planes don't have damage? Because one could say we need to protect those areas more on the plane because if those areas got hit, apparently those planes don't come back. It's very easy to look at a 1-0 loss where the bats go cold and go, see, we need bats. I would say, pause. What makes bats go cold? Really good pitching. Really good pitching. And if you were to analyze games that the Brewers have been shut out in, which is only 3, the answer to those shutouts were good pitching. Proof, Jacob Mizorowski and Kyle Harrison. The Brewers shut out the Astros 2-0 and used 3 pitchers on May 31st. The Miz, Uribe, Trevor McGill. On May 26th, the Brewers shut out the Cardinals. Pitchers, Kyle Harrison, Grant Anderson, Uribe, McGill. The same was on May 20th. Pitcher, Kyle Harrison. And closer, which there was no save opportunity, DL Hall. If we look at our stud pitchers and how they, and specifically the Miz and Harrison, make the opposing bats go cold, no matter how many big bats they have in the lineup, I would say let's study the areas where the planes don't have damage. I believe looking at last night's game and the pitching performance, not only from last night, but last week, what makes the Brewers bats go cold is pitching. And if we looked at our pitching, Gasser last night and some dude we don't know tonight, right?
Well,
That's the idea. It's Coleman Crow, right? But there was another name that was being thrown out there. My point was, it's not it's not an expected thing.
Sure.
So, in my opinion, the holes are in the pitching because good pitching is what makes good bats shut down. Look at the NLCS last year. That's exactly what happened against the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's
Their
true.
pitching absolutely shut down our bats. Our bats go cold against good pitching. How do we make the opposing team's bats go cold? Good pitching.
Yeah, there's still more to this, and we can get to it more in the 8 o'clock hour. But even Murph spoke a little bit after the game just about some disappointments with things that went wrong and shut out those opportunities. And it highlights some players that I think us as fans have been questioning for a while.
I hope it highlighted his decisions in the 8th.
Well, those were big discussions in it as well. Yep.
All right, let's move on. Madison, Badgers.
Badgers.
There is something called the Athletic Board. It is a group of people who apparently make decisions about contracts when there's no athletic director. This is bonkers. Will they just hurry up? I mean, the UW Athletic Board approved several, and this is not the first time we've read this, several contract extensions for several head coaches. Are we just going to have a board run the athletic department now? And I understand that we have to keep the train moving, but I would like to feel more urgency from Madison on righting the ship. And for me, I just don't feel that.
Right. It definitely feels that way. I think it hurts too to know, like, they still haven't named a chancellor, right? Like they have a lot of, like, they haven't filled any of the holes, right?
2 words. Oh, they have holes.
Right.
Oh, they have holes.
Plural.
2 words. Hot mess.
Right. I think that's it for me. Like, it's not just that they haven't gotten a new AD. They haven't gotten anything since McIntosh left. Like, it's still just been the same situation. That should have put some urgency to something, getting something done. Even if it wasn't a new AD, you were at least moving forward, which they have not been.
Are the Bucks moving forward?
Bucks.
Based on with who?
Oh boy. Yeah.
It feels like Jimmy O, who was a part of an interview, and it's posted on Twitter all over the place, but also on JS Online, shared his thoughts on where these things are at with Jimmy O. Where things are at with Giannis and the Bucks. This is Jimmy O.
The offers are on the table. They're not going to change. John Horst and the Bucks know what they are. And so now they're in this spot of which way are we going? And I don't think, JR, the spot is which way are we going with Giannis? I think the spot is which way are we going without him and what do we need back?
That is a small clip from the Point Forward podcast that he does with J.R. Radcliffe. He went on to say, and I think he actually prefaced that part of saying, there's no new news. He's not reporting this. This is just his opinions based on being on the beat for 6 years and how he knows John Horst to do things. He went on in a different clip to talk about how when they brought in Drew Holiday, it was silence. And then, boom, he was here. When they made the trade for Dame, it was silence. And then, boom, Dame was here. So the fact that it's eerily silent around the Bucks organization right now from what they're putting out is what is giving him the feeling that, yeah, he thinks that it's not still up in the air of what decision the Bucks are making if they keep Giannis or trade him, but instead, where do they trade him? And then, of course, in that clip, talking about they know the offers. They're not waiting for any new offer. Here's what's out there. Here's what they know. Which, man, I'm not going to lie.
No new offer that we know of.
What's that?
No new offer that we know of.
Yeah. But he's kind of making that point of, like, the offers are out there. There's nothing that's changing based on what's happening in the NBA Finals. That's what Jimmy O is saying. And that's what's disappointing to me, because that's what my main fear was, is that the return, whatever the return was going to be for Giannis, there wasn't going to be this huge bidding war. There wasn't going to be this thing that just had the Bucks getting like just a ridiculous blockbuster trade amount of everything from a team. And that's seeming to be the case. It's obviously, I don't know anything either, but if you're just reading the tea leaves, everyone's saying like, yeah, okay, I guess Miami's the best one that's out there, and that's where Giannis wants to go. And so now they're just waiting for it to be finalized. Woohoo. That's my big thing. I don't know what I could hear in this trade that would make me go, okay, that's good. I hate that it's happening, but that's good. Even if we get a second pick in this draft, it's not going to be a top 5 pick. That's for sure. So where do we really end up?
It might be a good restart. I don't know that we can expect the farm to come our way for a player that is aging and also injury prone.
Yeah.
You know who else is wildly silent right now?
Who?
Shams Charania.
Yeah.
I hate to say this.
Why do you think that is?
Because he's been completely right. And so now the source that he's been talking to is completely working on all of the things that Sham has been saying is coming, which is why they went silent. Shams Charania's source is in the Bucks organization. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because if they shut up, it means it's over. If Shams has nothing to report, it means it's over. All of his reporting were leading to a moment where he's been saying forever, Giannis wants out. If there's no news about Giannis wanting out anymore, it's because the Bucks are working on getting Giannis out, and they're not going to share any news, which is what Jimmy O is saying, until there's actually something to share.
That I don't necessarily agree with. I think that this has been more than anything, the Bucks organization, specifically Jimmy Haslam, who, again, when Shams was first reporting news of Giannis wanting to leave Milwaukee, Haslam wasn't even an owner at the time. That's how far back the rumor mill of Shams talking about the Giannis needing to move on from the Bucks started. And we said it's not going to happen because the Bucks ownership group doesn't want to be the bad guy. Giannis doesn't want to be the bad guy. Well, you know who wants to be the bad guy? Jimmy Haslam. And I think that's the big change. I think that it truly came down to not Giannis necessarily saying, I want to move on, but saying, if you guys are going to move on from me, I'd prefer Miami. And Jimmy Haslam saying, I'm in here now. Thank you for your time, Giannis. Thank you for bringing this organization to championship. I wasn't here to win it. I'm ready to move on from you. That's how I think this is going down. Jimmy O also talks about that with Haslam in the Point Forward podcast episode he did with J.R. Radcliffe, saying he just moved on from Myles Garrett. Like we've seen it. We've seen that Jimmy Haslam very easily can say, I'm moving on from the face of my franchise to take a chance at the future. And he did it with his football team. Wouldn't be surprising if he did it with his basketball team.
Here's what's ironic about this situation. It directly compares to Micah Parsons and his experience between the Cowboys and the Packers. These are businesses. What makes the Green Bay Packers great is Ron Wolf, Brian Gutekunst, and everyone in between, before and after, know that it's about winning football games in Green Bay and nothing else. There's no owner's pockets to pad. There's none of the things that come along with an organization where an owner like Jimmy Haslam would get himself involved. This is about winning football games, and Micah Parsons has proof. That's coming up in I Have Questions. All right, anything else?
Anything else?
Not for me.
No.
You got anything else?
No.
I think that's okay.
I think that's okay, too.
So let's get to I Have Questions. When we come back, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. How are we doing about Micah Parsons definitely starting on the pup, but maybe not being back for the Bears' first game, potentially against the Cowboys on October 18th? I have questions. You have questions. We have answers. You may have answers as well. If it's like any other day, you've got answers. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions, presented by Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
In sports and in life, the right partner matters. At Capital Credit Union, they are there for you every step of the way. Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing. The question today, in regard to financial literacy, that I'm attempting to get my teenage boys to understand. If you receive a text or email asking for your account password or PIN, do not respond. For the love of God.
Yeah, good timing for that. My wife Julie will tell you that on a Be Better Thursday, the Better Business Bureau. That's a scam. Stay away from that. Everybody, young, old, those are all scams, man.
Text money to 79489. Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing. I have questions. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Micah Parsons really gave us a bunch of answers yesterday, both in his presser, but also he was recently on a podcast with Jay Moore. It's called More Stories. And he talked about the differences. We just mentioned it there at the end of our first segment on how the Packers are not playing with the same deck of cards as the Cowboys. There's no owner here in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Things are just different. The question Jay Moore had was, Micah, do you notice a difference?
What's the biggest difference between the Packers and the Cowboys as an organization?
You know, it's different for me now because I was probably a fan favorite, but I was never an organization favorite.
It seems like Dallas really makes over quarterback, receiver, and then it's everybody else. Is that how
it's definitely offense for sure.
So you go to Green Bay, you feel like you're a fan favorite, and now you feel like you're an organization, you're a franchise favorite.
Yeah.
That's how you feel now in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And you feel now you are a Packer. Like you are a cheese-eating Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's who you are now.
Yeah. It's a beautiful feeling when you could text the GM and talk to him and the head coach. And
you couldn't do that in Dallas?
No.
Really?
So many steps. You know, it's a business first, then players.
Well, he's an oil man.
Yeah, it's a business. They treat it like a business.
Is it safe to say the Packers treat it more like a family?
Yeah, it's definitely family first. I mean, my first day at a Packer, like, everyone says good morning. Everyone a bit like you wouldn't know who.
Hey, how are you?
There is no hierarchy as a Packer.
Like Fargo.
Everyone is like a genuine, like you would never be able to tell between someone cleaning your laundry and probably a coach if a random person walked in the building because how they treat you.
How amazing is that?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the difference
between the Cowboys and the Packers, or the Packers and essentially everyone.
Bingo. That's where I was taking this.
Yeah, I think that plays into our little a little bit into the entitled fandom too. When you hear those stories from players that say, "Yeah, this organization is different," I think we as fans go, "Yeah, we are." See, that's even if we're not winning every year, that's why we're better than you. Is because
which I love.
We hear that from the players. Yeah.
And it's true that we then therefore play with a different deck of cards. And so when Micah Parsons yesterday, as he talked to the media pool, talked about his timeline and the strict 9 months that are in place, that has a lot to do with this.
I think the goal has always just been not right now, but longevity with my career here. And I think they want that approach. And we have a pretty strong 9-month rule. So it's just all about just do the research and the data. There's no good outcomes with players coming back early from ACL, especially if you add in all the other things that get fixed up. So it's just all about completing the rehab the best of our ability and then seeing where we're at from there.
I think the Packers are probably the prototypical example of a mature organization choosing to respond and not react. I mean, look at the history. Rarely do the Packers make major gut reaction decisions. The biggest probably was firing Mike McCarthy mid-season. They just don't do that here.
Yeah, which was anyone, I mean, I know that some people were, but what were your feelings when that happened, when that went down? Were you upset that it happened?
Upset? No. But I was surprised that it happened mid-season because they just don't do that. That seemed like I'm pissed and I'm making this decision now. In regard to Micah Parsons' recovery, there's no owner that's looking at the schedule and going, come on. Like, dude, it's the Bears. Now, I'm not saying that he won't be back by the Bears, which is week 5, because he didn't necessarily say either way, but there is a very, very high likelihood, if not 100% chance, that he's starting on the PUP and won't be available until week 5. And even then, week 5 would be the first full week he'd be able to be in practice. And if we know anything about the Packers organization, there's an example of how they don't rush things. They make sure he's ready.
Do you think at all that decision on if he plays against the Bears or not is going to depend on what happened the first 4 weeks? If
not according to what he just said.
I know. But if the Packers come out the gate and they're 1-3 going into that week against the Bears, do you think they go, nope, we'll go 1-4?
Yep, I do. And it's all because of what he just said. There's no owner. It's about longevity of his career. Did it suck last year that he got hurt? 100%. You know who took it the worst? Brian Gutekunst. Come on. Why can't we have nice things? And then trying to fill the void didn't go well. Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Riley, Lucas Van Ness, all injured, along with Micah Parsons. So are they going to rush him back for the week 5 Bears game if they're 1-3? They're going to make sure he's 100% prepared healthy-wise and 100% prepared smarts-wise. And wouldn't it be something if his first game back was at Lambeau Field against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football?
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty poetic. That would be quite the fairy tale. Although, damn it, do I want him to be ready for the Bears?
And it's not, listen, he didn't come out and say he wasn't going to be ready. You could just read between the lines here and go, well, okay, so 9 months to the day. If day 1 is December 30th, because he had surgery, he said yesterday, December 29th. Carry the one. September 30th is 9 months. That is in the middle of the week leading up to the game at Tampa. I don't think Micah Parsons is jumping into practice in the middle of the week. If he is, it ain't for a hill of beans to get him ready to play at Tampa by far. Now, could he be doing all of the things behind the scenes while on the PUP that allow him to jump in and practice a full week ahead of the Bears and actually play October 11th? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
If I'm a betting man, based on what he said and what we know about the Packers organization and about what Micah Parsons said the difference is between Green Bay and Dallas, and then using some of the things that we're seeing with the Bucs organization and the Cleveland Browns with Jimmy Haslam, who treats it like a business. So does Mark Antanasio, by the way. It's hard for us to swallow. Then I think it's going to be Sunday Night Football against Dallas. At least that's definitely what the script writers would write.
So, I mean, we know that he's not, it doesn't matter what miracle happens. He's not playing in Tampa. Like, even if he was ready to go midweek and they brought him back in practice and everything, he couldn't go, right? That's the whole point of him being on the PUP. Like, he would have to miss that game.
You're out 4 weeks, and I believe the week starts on Monday for that week. So I don't know if it's you missed 4 games or if you missed 4 weeks, but either way, it's, let's just call it the first 4 weeks.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yes.
that's definitely not not happening with
No.
the discussion. We can put that in the
But
back
could
burner.
he be doing things behind the scenes, even though he's not allowed to practice while on the pup, to be ready for the Bears? Yeah. I'm just saying, based on what he said, and based on what we know about the Packers organization, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be until Dallas. But we don't know. It was great to hear from him. It's great to see he's doing well. He did talk a lot about how it's been hard on his mentals because he's a lion. And it's hard to tame a lion.
Right.
Hey, bud, you're injured. And there's nothing you can do, Aaron Rodgers, to hurry this up, which, by the way, he couldn't either.
Sure.
That was all BS. He was never going to play Aaron Rodgers coming off of that Achilles later in that season. Literally, medically impossible.
Eric from the Prairie quickly chimes in here on our YouTube stream. You can, of course, watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at WI Sports Radio. And he says, Micah won't play until late October. The Packers have always been conservative with these injuries. I don't think he'll play against Dallas either. Any concern about that? Any concern that this turns into like a Brandon Woodruff situation where we don't even get back in time of the timeline and it goes even further than that?
Say that again.
Like, do you have any concern that he's not ready by Dallas?
I don't. He said mid-October. One could argue mid-October could be October 11th, and it could be October 18th.
Sure.
I did not hear him say late October, which I would all think we would agree. October 25th is late. So too is the 29th. Those are the games at the Lions, home against the Panthers. Again, if we're rolling the dice, filling out the little card at the Potawatomi Sportsbook that says, if there was such a bet, what game do you think Micah Parsons is going to play in first? My bet would be the Cowboys. Do I wish it was the Bears? Frankly, I wish it was week 1 at the Vikings.
Right.
I mean, unless, let us pray, God touch that whole deal with the ACL like you did with Reggie White. But even then, I don't believe the Packers organization would let Reggie White do what he did today unless they knew at that point he was on his way out. And I believe it was right at the end of the season, knowing that this was definitely possibly a year. I've had conversations with members of that training staff who looked at the imaging and said, we can't explain this at all.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It was.
It was a wild night last night at AmFam Field, at least for the Giants. But hey, we broke up a no and a perfect game, kind of almost back-to-back, if memory serves me right. We'll play that sound for you next in the most electrifying sound of the day. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying,
sound of the day
the most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
And that is a base hit to left. Terang breaks up the no-hitter in the 7th.
On another pitch that was out of the strike zone, a sweeper. There you go, down and away. And Terang just punches it out of the reach of Chapman. Look at that piece of hitting right there.
First hit of the game for the Brewers comes off the bat of Terang.
Lost the perfect game last inning, lost the no-hitter this inning.
And Bryce Terang, at the very least, breaking up the no-no, call courtesy of Brewers TV, is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I know we talked about it, Trev, I don't know what it was, against Skeens or months ago, but I don't care what history is happening. I don't want to see a no-hitter against my team. I don't want to see it. I don't care what opportunity we have. And so the fact that the Brewers have been in that situation twice in the last couple weeks, I like that. Let's just, at the very least, if we're going to get shut out, let's just get a hit in like the first. Just at least put that to bed, you know?
That's almost worse, isn't it? Because a no-hitter keeps you watching, like, please, God, no. And upon further review, now that this has happened twice, that was a terrible take by me. I take that back. I know it's Thursday. Don't care. I don't want to see it.
Thank you.
Like, there's a piece of me that was like, yeah, well, this is interesting. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Right. When it's any other team, if I've got no skin in the game, absolutely. Let me see history, right? Because I don't care. But, well, unless it's the Cubs, right? Unless I'm hate watching. I don't want it to be a team I hate, and I don't want it to be against my team. Why is that so much to ask for?
So Bryce Terang breaking that up late, though, in the game, as we just heard in the most electrifying sound of the day, made us believe that we had a chance because we just did it. We were here. Oh, come on. Bryce Terang, the heart of the lineup. Contreras on with Yelly on third. This can we're at least going to tie it up, right?
How about Bryce Terang with Yelly on third? We just heard, I mean, first of all, Rock was not wrong about that at AB. He came in, and it was a good hit to break up that no-no. Then he has an opportunity with one out, just get a sac fly, strikes out.
That's all we needed to do.
Ugh.
What do the MLB and the MLBPA need to do to protect America's pastime? Well, we're going to talk about that next. And if there was a magic wand, I think we would wave it. What they need to do is stop being babies and actually have a conversation. We'll talk about that next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
And that is a base hit to left. Terang breaks up the no-hitter in the 7th.
On another pitch that was out of the strike zone, a sweeper.
Ground ball to short. Adames has it with time, and the Giants hang on to a 1-0 victory. The Brewers had that tying run on with nobody out and could not bring them home. The Giants get one in the series finale coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, Brewers had runners in scoring position with an opportunity to plate a run in 3 of the last 4 innings, just not able to get it done.
These things will happen. We're not in massive need of a big bat. We don't have anything major to worry about.
Are you sure we shouldn't just panic instead?
Well, we've done that earlier in the year, and we're guilty of that. I certainly am guilty of that.
Oh, every day. For me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I panic every day. What's up? What's up? Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Hour 2 from the Potawatomi Sportsbook studios of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Hey, can I stop the show for a sec?
I mean, you can if you want. You're in charge.
Okay, I'd like to. I realized after that Brewers loss, I never asked if you flipped on to Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
When was that?
Oh, it was last night. It was happening like same time.
It's kind of the Mike McCarthy answer of, it's the trade deadline? What's the trade deadline like around here? Like that, yeah. Nope, sure didn't. Went to bed. Actually, it was kind of we had a really nice evening last night. It was just Amanda and I and the boys. And when you have a 16 and a 14-year-old and one of them can take themselves wherever they want, whenever they want, within reason, you kind of enjoy the nights you have as a family. So we were on the couch, watched the Brewer game, did a bunch of work. Amanda did a bunch of reading, which is what she does. A woman reads 1,000 books a year.
Wow.
Do you read? I mean, maybe not 1,000.
No.
Exaggeration, but a lot. Hundreds.
No.
You don't read?
No, I don't have my ADD won't I can't pay attention enough.
So how do you watch sports and pay attention?
Well, it's easier to watch something for me than it is to read. Like when I read, I have to read as if I'm reading it out loud to comprehend what I'm reading.
Me and you both, bud. I think that's the disease we get when we're in this business, because I watch Amanda read and she'll flip and then flip and then flip. I'm like, how did you even, what words did you just read?
Yep.
Where I read it like I'm announcing.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I really thought that with Doug Gottlieb and myself both guilting you yesterday, we'd be able to get you to flip on the game.
Maybe peer pressure doesn't work when you're 43.
Apparently not. Okay.
That, and I took Doug out to lunch and punched him in the face.
Oh, wow. Can't wait to see that shiner.
I tried to go for a selfie with the full box of chips that we had in front of us at Margaritas.
Yeah.
I was like, haha, look at that. And he walked away to take a phone call right when that was happening. So,
yeah, I'm sure it was an important phone call, too.
It was. It's when his phone rings, you can't.
Yeah, he's
having
gone.
A meal with him is, you just talk in sequences.
Yeah, sure.
They're up against a little bit on that team right now. Can't share much more, but players we need players, more players.
People to play basketball.
Yeah, that helps the team that is playing basketball in college. All right, look at that. 7:05-ish. Time for the Malott Meats Morning Mind Up.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride swallowing siege. that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food, we've got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
10% off all ribeyes at WisconsinMeatMarket.com. A Father's Day sale. Bone in, bone out on your grill. Visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com and experience the power of the family meal this Father's Day with Malott Meats. Family. Fancy concept.
Mm-hmm.
Not in sports most of the time.
No, it's a business.
It's business first.
Mm-hmm.
Family first is where I land always, every time, no matter what. Always. That is not how professional sports works outside of maybe the Green Bay Packers for the most part. And even then, sometimes they have to make a business decision when it comes to winning football games. So if we back out of this for a hot second and look at where we're at from a Major League Baseball perspective and the Players Association, along with the Major League Baseball owners being literal light years away from each other in regard to whatever this new CBA looks like. Josh and I were talking about, do we need to brace ourselves for something catastrophic potentially here? And I know that in Milwaukee, there's a ton of conversation about Mark Antanasio and stop being cheap. Well, that's cute for us to say, but we don't own the business. I own a business. You don't get to decide when you're going to be cheap versus when you want to spend. It's called cash flow and business profitability. Easy word for me to say. So we saw both proposals. The players want nothing to do with anything remotely close to a salary cap. And the owners are saying, if we don't, we can't continue. And so where do we think this is heading? And how do we feel about it? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. I know, Tim hates it because let's enjoy what we have when we have it. Cool. And I like baseball, Josh, above everything else.
Yeah.
So the thought of not only not having baseball, but there's a piece of me that worries how we fix this at all. And I'm not saying it's all going to go away, but dude, they're not even close.
Right. I think that's the big concern. Like my first thought when this came out, that there was a strike, but probably, right? They were throwing this is going to lead to a strike. It was kind of for me.
No. Real quick.
Yeah.
It's not going to lead in a strike. The players have no reason to strike. This is going to lead to a lockout.
Or lockout. Yeah. Sorry. Lockout. Thank you.
No worries. I just want to make sure.
But, like when what you went through with YouTube TV, when you have it to where it's like, well, call your whoever if you want to get ESPN back, and you're sitting here as the fan going, man, it sucks that billionaires and billionaires are fighting and I'm the one that suffers. Very similar thing happening with baseball and them being so far off. I just thought, eventually those contract disputes end, right? When it comes to, ESPN's not on YouTube TV. All right, enough people complain about it, and then the billionaires sit at a table and they go, all right, fine, we'll negotiate for this. And then, okay, it's back. Man, was that annoying, but it's back. And so that's where I kind of just assumed that this would fall with baseball, right? Is that, maybe they don't play a full season. Maybe it really comes down to the wire to where they're going, boy, are they really not going to get this off by opening day? Like when opening day is scheduled to be, is that really going to be the case? Maybe they missed the first couple weeks, but then it's like, all right, there should be baseball right now. The rubber meets the road. Let's get this going. Then you look at where things are right now between the two sides, and you go, I don't think that's going to be the case. With where they are right now, I really don't know that it's they'll figure this out within the first couple of weeks of next season. I don't.
Well, spring training is typically where you would expect things to go a little more urgent in terms of negotiation, right? But for who? Maybe for the owners. But last I checked, you ever meet a player that's super excited for training camp?
Sure. Right.
So if we think the players are going to lay down because spring training's coming, I think we have another thing to worry about. The other thing here is there's a belief system that at some level, who's in control here? Before I say what I think and what I've read, who do you think's in control, Josh?
That's a good question. I would say the organization, like Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's their product. It's their product. At the end of the day, it's their product. There are a bunch of guys in the minors that would play, that would go against the Players Association to play, knowing that the other option is, sticking in the minors. If it came to that, the thing is, the product ultimately loses too if you don't have the best players playing. But at the end of the day, it's Major League Baseball.
It's the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason that's true is because of the lockout versus the strikeout. We should call it a strikeout.
Yeah, really.
If the players ever go on strike, it should be a strikeout. I like that. The lockout is where this stands right now. That's what's going to happen. If December 1st comes and goes and the CBA is not renewed, most likely the MLB owners will lock out the players so that they retain control and go, if you guys want your jobs back, then we're going to have to sit down at a table and talk about how to make this thing right, because it is wrong right now. Really, really wrong. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law talk and text line. How do we feel about this and or anything else you got to get off your chest and out of your head?
Yeah.
Jacob in a van, the 262, says it all boils down to greed. In the end, the question is, how much money is enough? It feels like greed because of the amount of money we're talking about. But boil that down to a simple negotiation between a union and an employer that is a union shop. There are a lot of blue-collar men and women that listen to these radio stations across the state of Wisconsin on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. The issues that a union here in Wisconsin has with its union employer in regard to negotiating new contracts is much like the issues that the MLB and the MLBPA are going through. Fair pay, but also fair profitability. And right now, it's nowhere near the same across the union employers. Does that make sense?
Yes. I also think, though, that it's just that there's no way to stop the future, the snowball, right? Like, that's the same thing we're looking at with the NIL. And we're going like, man, this is just growing and growing exponentially and getting out of hand. And if we don't control it, like, when does it stop before it falls apart, right? Like, I think that's the thing. Even though when you look at the NFL, for example, right, they have a salary cap. The cap grows. The cap goes up, right, as media rights and everything, right? But that number is set.
Right. There's
no number in Major League Baseball. Teams can spend as much money as they want on a player. They can, as someone else pointed out on the Nicolay Law talk and text line, that money can be deferred. You can defer money for a player. You can sign a player for $1 billion and not have to pay him any of it for 15 years. Like, all of these other things are happening that is making Major League Baseball the wild, wild west, and it not having anything to define or keep it in line. I think that's kind of one of the crazy parts. Now, I get it. If you're a player, why the hell would you want that to stop? Right? That's great for the players. Players are getting to make more and more money. The organizations are finding new ways to be able to pay the players money. Fantastic. But that's, I think, the big argument that the owners have is that they're going, no. We can't afford to keep having this be a bidding war when we're not all playing on the same playing field, because some of us can't do these deferred deals and pay someone $500 million to play baseball. We're not even worth that much. We can't do that. And so that's starting the whole thing. But I think as fans, their worry there is what gets us looking at it as, oh, okay, cool, a salary cap. That'll make it more fair for me as a small market team. They're not thinking about us as fans in this negotiation. This is strictly coming down to the players like making as much money at the rate they're making more money, and the owners saying, we cannot keep paying players at this rate year after year more and more money.
Daryl in the 414 on the Nicolay Law talk and text line, 414-677-1250. Daryl says, really, until the owners open up the books and tell us how much they make, it's hard to not complain about the Brewers spending. And this is where the problem lies. With all due respect, Daryl, that's not realistic. What business does the owner require to show you their profitability? I can't even say it without chuckling. That's not real life.
Well, don't you with publicly traded companies have to put out your...
Right. That's not a privately owned business.
Sure. Right.
So at the end of the day, these are privately owned entities. It's hard because we're fanatics. It's hard because it's sports. And these are things that we don't typically have to worry about. But yet in these cases, we have expectations that are just not common sense. When we as fans look at how Mark Antanasio manages the business of the Milwaukee Brewers, we, because we don't have that information, want whatever it takes for him to do to bring us a World Series championship. We don't care how much money he has to spend. McFly, that's easy for us to say. We don't own the business. And so as we sit and look at how this is shaking out, Josh and I just kind of had a moment after the show yesterday and went, damn, does this wreck baseball? And there were some people, when the players went on strike this last time there was any type of dispute, they thought baseball was going to take a really, really long time to recover from that, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are again in a time where, to your point, Josh, the NFL seems to have it figured out. And the NFL is by far the biggest, most successful professional sports entity in the world. And I know some can argue about European soccer, but I would like to not.
Sure. Man, when you talk about pessimistic views, this one from the 920, boy, oh boy, you watch, we go all the way to the World Series, finally, and the Players Association strikes, and we don't get a World Series. Being a Brewer and a Wisconsin sports fan, I can definitely see this happening. we go all the way in. We make it happen. We're all set up to do it. Nah, no more baseball.
There's a few texts here back to back that talk about how these businesses that may or may not be privately owned use taxpayer dollars to fund their buildings and so on. Guys, that's called the TIF district. This happens on the regular in private business and local government. The amount of money that the teams are tapping into is just different. And it's public because it involves tax dollars and percentages and all those things. But that also has a lot to do with economic impact and how these organizations, and I'll use the Packers specifically in my backyard, affect our economy here in Northeast Wisconsin, where I'm at WNFL. And the same is true for the Fiserv Forum in how they went about the funding to build that, and how Miller Park and the original funding, and now AmFam Field and the funding that is being put towards that to pay for repairs and upkeep and so on. That's all just based on government tax dollars that we can set aside for things like this if the opportunity arises and the votes that are there approve said plan. But at the end of the day, it's about economic impact. So it's tough, right? It's unfortunately cake and eat it too mentality, but it's the system that's in place. The problem is we like baseball. And this certainly, at least on the front side, seems to be trending towards a way of not having baseball, and I don't like it. My fear is that they are so far apart, and it is so broken. And it's been broken for a really long time. Like a really long time. Bud Selig.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that audio, Josh?
I do not have that handy. I can get it here in a second.
See if you can grab it. I'll preface this by saying there was a conversation with Bud Selig recently, former commissioner of baseball, former owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, who was asked about the situation in regards to the MLBPA and the MLB and where we are at in terms of the negotiations or lack thereof.
I got it.
And he said, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Here it is.
I'd rather stay away from all that because I did that for years and I asked everybody else. So I have a lot of thoughts on that subject, and it's hard for me to restrain myself. But I understand what they've done in asking for a cap. And I would remind everybody that every other sport has a cap too.
You want to read between the tea leaves there?
I think that's part of the problem, though, is this not just an issue, and it kind of seems like that's Bud's point, that's existed for a while, right? And so if they don't put the cap in now, what's stopping this from being there being another lockout situation in X amount of years?
Bingo.
It's just going to continue. So at some point, you rip the Band-Aid off.
Bite the bullet.
Baseball has to suffer for a little bit. But then do we look back at it in 5, 10, 15 years and go, oh, my God, do you remember how bad baseball was at one point? Look at how great it is now. You know, thinking about just the future of the sport and the, baseball in general.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. I'll give you one guess what's on my list on a Be Better Thursday.
Ooh.
And others.
Interested to hear that.
This situation, maybe? What are yours? Who needs to be better? What needs to be better in the last week? The Wisconsin Better Business Bureau brings us a Be Better Thursday. That's next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time to answer the question, who needs to be better? Is it a team?
I need to be better for our team.
A coach?
I got to be better as a coach.
A player?
I got to be better. We got to be better. Just facts.
Let us know who you think has to be better. Brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Show people your business is better. Get BBB accredited with the Better Business Bureau at bbb.org.
That's right. It's time to ask who needs to be better in the state of Wisconsin, in Wisconsin sports and beyond. Brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. 90% of consumers recognize and trust the BBB accreditation seal and logo. If you want to showcase your business as a better business, get BBB accredited. Learn more at bbb.org. All right, Trevor. My first one here I had this one written down early. Fans throwing baseballs back on the field need to be better. Did you see this? Two different stories of fans throwing baseballs back on the field that missed completely. First of all, was one in a Blue Jays game where someone threw a ball back on the threw a ball at him and they hit him in the hand. This being Jesus Sanchez, and he had to leave the game.
Did see that. Yep.
Okay. Then there was another one, I think it was at a Cardinals game, in the tarps off section, where a kid with the tarp off threw a ball, didn't get it to the field, ended up hitting a different fan in the back of the head with the baseball. If you're going to throw the ball back, okay, and you don't trust yourself that you can make it, give it to someone next to you who can. Be better.
Because I don't know the rule, do you get booted for that?
Good question. For throwing a ball back on the field?
Yeah, I know it happens at Wrigley all the time, right?
I'm going to say no.
So that's the one thing you're allowed to throw on the field and have everybody go, no big deal. What if you hit somebody?
Right, then I think so. I think it really comes down to just, can you do it successfully? If you can do it successfully and you do it right away, I think you got to do it right away too. Then I think you're fine. Also, like if you're in a sea of people, can the security person even super pinpoint who it was?
Yes, cameras. Hi.
Sure.
Of course.
Sure. But at that point, they've gone to the cameras, they're looking at everything. I don't know. That's a good question.
It's only an opposing home run. There are rules to this.
Right.
You cannot throw anything on the field ever except an opposing team's home run. That you can give back. But there are rules.
Yeah. And the first rule is you got to get it on the field. Be better. Be better.
I think Jeff Hafley needs to be better, and it's easy for us to say now that he's not here anymore. But Micah Parsons talked yesterday and reminded all of us that there is a strict 9-month rule when it comes to a recovery process from an ACL tear within the Packers organization. Bill Huber put out a great article yesterday, SI.com, talking about what the 9-month rule is all about. Jeff Hafley made us believe that Micah Parsons, because of who Micah Parsons is, might be able to set an NFL record and come back in record time from an ACL tear. Ugh. Half, be better, man. That was never a possibility. I mentioned earlier, just like it was never a possibility that Aaron Rodgers was going to be able to come back in such record fashion from his Achilles tear. How do I know that? Because I literally had a conversation with a world-renowned doctor about it when I tore mine. And the quote was, Aaron would have had the mobility of an area the size of a pack and play. Well, Micah Parsons coming back anything faster than 9 months in 1 day from an ACL tear was never a thing. So, yes, I like confidence from coaches in our players on the Green Bay Packers. But he was never going to set a record, brother. Be better.
Also, then you have Parsons saying they have a pretty strict 9-month rule here. Was Jeff Hafley not aware of that in his tenure about that rule? Was that not in a handbook? A welcome to the Green Bay Packers coaching handbook for him when he arrived? It was kind of interesting that, Parsons made it seem like this was something that was a Packer decision. It was a Packer thing that this is their policy. I would have expected Jeff Hafley to know those policies before making a statement like that.
Get my hopes up.
Mm-hmm. Be better. This is a doubler. Okay.
Twofer.
Pat Murphy has to be better when it comes to making moves with players and moving on from players.
That's one.
If he's not going to make those moves, then Blake Perkins needs to be better at baseball.
That's two.
It's one of those two things needs to happen. We have heard weird excuses from Pat Murphy. And listen, if I'm being honest, I don't remember, like, what are we in June? And there's already been a handful of sound bites from Murph that have had me going, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's different. I'm not saying I'm off the Murphy train by any means, but I mean, just looking at past seasons in comparison to this season, I'm scratching my head a little bit more than I have. And the biggest head scratcher has to be Blake Perkins. He likes him. I get it. You're saying he's had good hard hits and things just haven't gone his way and it's just bad luck and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, you also said that Brandon Sproat needs to be better, right? That was Murph's words, saying he needs to be better. We're trying to do something here. That type of play is not acceptable. But Blake Perkins is? Him getting thrown out on the base pads, him not being able to lay down a bunt, which I know Murph said is inexcusable. That's what he said after the game. Blake Perkins not being able to get that bunt down is inexcusable. And then what are you going to do about it? How many more times is Murph going to come and say something and we're not going to see a solution? We're talking about this bag of prospects. Bring somebody up if you're holding a spot for Blake Perkins. We got to be better. And I think it starts with Murph. Got to be better.
This is literally the next one on my list. So let's dive into this for just a second here. This is the situation last night in the game that the Brewers were in, and Murph made some decisions that both Josh and I would say, dude, be better. The Brewers were down 1-0. Logan Webb, the guy that was throwing the no-no, finally out of the game after 7 innings, and Milwaukee now has a chance. Jackson Chourio, this is in the 8th, pinch hit for Garrett Mitchell, singled to left to lead off the 8th. Then Blake Perkins comes in to pinch hit for Sal Frelick and tried to bunt. Now pause. Sal Frelick hasn't exactly been lighting it up for the Brewers. Clearly, nor has Blake Perkins. But this isn't an out-of-bounds thing. This is okay. Like, if Perkins can get a bunt down, then this is a good decision. Well, he didn't. He popped out to first, which made Chourio have to stay at first. Okay, that's one. Here's where it gets way worse. Next batter, Luis Rengifo, walks, putting runners on first and second with 1 out in a 1-0 game against the Giants bullpen for the first time all game. Who's due up? Any idea?
I just know who hit.
David Hamilton was due up with runners on first and second with 1 out. And I don't know if you've watched a Brewers game this year and you go, God, I wonder, let me look down the dugout. Who has the best chance right here of laying down a bunt to get the guys to move at least from second to third, and maybe, by golly, we get one to second? My vote would have been David Hamilton. Nope. Murph puts in Gary Sanchez, and Sanchez grounds into an inning-ending double play. That is a head-scratcher, man.
He was asked about that, too, after the game, and he essentially has said that that was the right move. He stands by that move. That's why Gary is there, to be able to get a base hit, to drive in that run. He doesn't think that was the wrong move at all.
But for sure, Blake Perkins not being able to get a bunt down is inexcusable. You're right, Josh. We didn't have these types of conversations last season. And we've allowed ourselves to go, 2-time manager of the year for a reason. Back to back. Never happened before. In Murph we trust. And in Murph we do trust. But that one right there, with the Sanchez for David Hamilton thing, I think that's inexcusable. Be better.
Yeah, some people chiming in here in regards to this one on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line. First, the 353. Where's the 353? I'm going to look that up. Said, are you kidding me? I've been scratching my head over Murphy since day one. If Chris Hook gets a manager's job elsewhere, the Brew Crew is screwed. Mark my words. Send Murphy, keep Hook. That's T in lacrosse. Oh, so maybe it's lacrosse.
Well, no, 353 is the new one. Remember? We talked
That's
about this the
right.
other day.
That's right. That is. Okay. Also, the 262 is very confused about what we're talking about. They're saying you don't sacrifice. You don't lay down a bunt and sacrifice with one out to get the runner to third.
David Hamilton, do you know how many infield base hits he's gotten off of bunts this year?
Well, and here's the other thing, too, is that even if he couldn't, very hard to get a double play on Hamilton. Very hard to have that end the inning on Hamilton. Right?
Yes, absolutely right, Josh. If you were to just make an apples to apples comparison on who would have given us the best chance to score, it would have been David Hamilton. Sanchez is batting less than 200.
Yeah.
I know that's why he's here. I don't think he should be here.
I mean, he's our backup catcher. Like that's his role. That's what he's on. But he was brought in here to hit home runs, and he did to start the season. He did.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't done much of anything since. There's a lot of players that haven't done much of anything since, which is kind of why we're talking about him, asking the questions.
If you're rolling the dice in that situation right there, runners on first and second with one out, and David Hamilton due up next. Do you know who's due up after that? The top of the order.
Yelich.
So don't tell me it's a sacrifice position. If he bunts to move the runners over and gets out, it's how it's put in the book. But we now have a runner on second and third with two outs in the top of the order up.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Yeah, or not. Either
right,
way, they got to be better.
Let's take a quick break. We have more. You have more. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line on a Be Better Thursday with the Wisconsin Better Business Bureau, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I think I said Wisconsin 5 times in 17 seconds.
No, it was 7. Be better.
Patriotism.
Hey, the Queen of Spice is heating up breakfast at Wendy's with new items like their jalapeno sausage, egg and cheese biscuit, the jalapeno bacon, egg and cheese biscuit, and a spicy side twist of jalapeno bacon seasoned potatoes. You got to get it while it's available, only for a limited time. So get a bite while you can and spice up your morning at Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on a Be Better Thursday, going through a list of opportunities for others and even sometimes ourselves to be better.
Some good ones coming in.
I have a personal Be Better. I have an admittance.
Oh, okay.
I bought a new charcoal grill.
Okay.
We don't have a grill. We have a Traeger, but grilling on my Traeger turns into an inferno real quick.
Sure.
So we went to the store, Deep Here True Value, and we bought one of those charcoal grill setups, a Weber setup, but it's got like the gray top, and it's on this little wheelie thing and some compartments and a cutting board. Nice setup. Really happy. I haven't used a big charcoal grill in a hot minute, pun intended. I got it rip-roaring hot because that was the idea. You get it real hot, and then you grill. Oops. Seconds. It was so hot, I had hot dogs and brats and burgers from Malat Meats on there, and in seconds, done.
Yeah, which means not done.
Well, kind of, but you're right. In my right finger, done.
Ooh.
I haven't felt this part in a hot minute. Every time I tried to flip something, I'm like,
come on, man. Yep. That's a good one. You got to be better. Hey, the 262's got a great one. Madden needs to be better. Not sure if you saw this yesterday. They're having Caleb Williams on the cover, and they picture the picture they have him picked him to mimic Michael Jordan's Jumpman pose. Plus, how bad of a Chicago skyline picture they picked. That from the 262. Yeah, having Caleb Williams on there was a choice. They got to be better. I was very confused by that.
I applaud that. We all know about the curse.
Sure, of
Sounds
course.
great.
But also, isn't the curse usually like cursing someone who was like a MVP or a Super Bowl champion or like not someone who just won a playoff game?
Choosing him is odd, and hopefully the curse follows. Now, if somebody can get a hold of Danhausen and have him hate the Bears, that'd be great.
Yeah, there's your curse.
Can we go back to this Brewers thing? So here's how this played out. We just talked about this in the last segment. If you missed it, both Josh and I said that Murph needs to be better in the eighth last night when he had Blake Perkins pinch hit for Sal Frelick with Jackson Chourio on first, who pinch hit for Garrett Mitchell. Then Luis Rengifo walked, and there's guys on first and second with one out. They pinch hit Gary Sanchez for David Hamilton, who is a bunt for a single machine. Sanchez hits into a double play, inning over. There are people saying, well, you don't sacrifice with one out. I know, but you tell me which scenario you would choose to win a baseball game for the Milwaukee Brewers over the other. Would you take Gary Sanchez at the plate with one out and runners on first and second? Or would you take Christian Yelich at the plate with runners on second and third with two outs? Because somebody noted that Yelly got stranded at third in the last inning and the Brewers lost. You know what that meant? That meant that Yelly got on base.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Yelich with two outs and runners on second, third, 100 out of 100 times over Blake Perkins, or in this case, Gary Sanchez, with runners on first and second and one out. So I understand that when you're playing blackjack, there's a book move. And the book move says don't use a bunt as a sacrifice to get runners to move with one out. Somebody else texted in, though, and said if David Hamilton bunted 100% of the time, he'd probably be batting 400.
Yeah.
Because he gets on base.
And at the very least, it's avoiding the double play.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. You said that perfectly.
We'll discuss this more as well in the 8 o'clock hour as we analyze the Brewers a little bit more after avoiding their second potential no-no in the last couple of weeks. We got a few more Be Betters I wanted to get to here quickly. Jacob in a van says school graduations need to be better. They need to cut down on the amount of speeches and reflections. Be better. Interesting. I haven't been to one in a while. You have, right? Or you're going to?
I haven't, but I know. No, I'm not until next year. I'll be at one for the first time in forever. He's not wrong. They're long.
Yeah.
But the problem is the diploma handing out portion of the ceremony, which is the most important, is the longest piece. So if there was a way to hand out diplomas for graduation and not have it be kid by kid by kid by kid.
Yeah, but isn't that the
times?
one moment? Like, I don't care about some
100%.
other kids giving me a speech. I'm there for the 4 seconds in which my kid walks across the stage.
I'm saying the speeches aren't the longest part by any means. So what are you going to cut out 20 minutes of a 3-hour ceremony because everybody gets handed their diploma?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's the main thing. You're there. You're going, all right, my family, I'm in the T's. I got to wait for them to get through the elemental P's first before they get to me. I don't want to hear a kid give a speech on top of it. Boo.
When we come back, rabbit hole, who is your favorite, most recognized crush from your childhood? We'll explain. This has to do with sports. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
And that is a base hit to left. Terang breaks up the no-hitter in the 7th.
On another pitch that was out of the strike zone, a sweeper.
Ground ball to short. Adames has it with time, and the Giants hang on to a 1-0 victory. The Brewers had that tying run on with nobody out and could not bring them home. The Giants get one in the series finale coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, Brewers had runners in scoring position with an opportunity to plate a run in 3 of the last 4 innings, just not able to get it done.
Oops. Runners in scoring position those last few innings and not being able to get it done is kind of when you just knew. You know, the no thing, the perfect game thing, breaking that up, understood, hey, we have a chance. You just could tell the wind never reached our sails.
True.
Audio courtesy of Brewers TV. More audio from a Brewers perspective later today and live. Join Tommy Wirtz and the leadoff show at Explorium Distilled in the Deer District today at noon before Milwaukee play the Giants in the final game of their 4-game series. Then after the game, watch and listen to the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz as they broadcast live from 4 to 6 there at the Explorium Distilled in the Deer District and here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Inside Wisconsin Sports on a glorious hour 3 and Thursday in the month of June. A day game for the Brewers today, but not a whole heck of a lot of other sports going on. Yep, we heard from Micah Parsons. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening with the Brewers and do we need a bat and or does last night prove that we actually need pitching? We'll discuss that next. But I was alive on TikTok yesterday. And when I say alive, I mean pretty much dead to the world. I hate this whole death scroll thing that is a part of our lives. And
but you do
I
it.
sometimes get hooked in as well. I don't know why, but Anna Kournikova showed up in my TikTok algorithm.
You don't know why, though.
I have no idea why. I'm not I don't search for baddies.
Oh.
I don't search for tennis.
What about shouties? Do you search for shouties?
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
No, it was a TikTok that pointed it out. It was a joke because back like 10, 15 years ago, all of the songs had to do about shorties and where them shouties at, and now they're baddies. All the shorties became aunties to the baddies.
For the record, I only knew the word baddies because that's a very normal thing on TikTok is that people talk about
correct
swipe. They get me back to grilling and taking care of my lawn, please.
Yeah, and Anna Kournikova.
Well, but that popped in, and that's when the fight started. Now I'm up against it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, Anna Kournikova. Been a hot minute since I've seen you. And that got my brain going, that was when I was a kid. That was the 90s. Oh, man, that's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition with Tyra Banks on the cover. Polka dot bikini. And if you know exactly what I'm talking about, if you grew up when we grew up.
Do I? Do I know? No, I know.
Yeah, okay. So who was your childhood crush? My Google was never, my algorithms are screwed for a hot second after searching around with this one.
Good luck.
In the greatest way with boundaries. But we asked the question before we went to break. I think we could just read text messages the entire rest of the show.
Yeah.
So we're not the only ones thinking about this.
Well, of course. I mean, I feel like people know, what your childhood crushes were.
Right away, too. You don't even have to think about it.
Right.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Who was your childhood crush, Josh?
I mean, just one. I mean,
no, you can list them all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first was, Britney Spears was like, that was like, Hit Me Baby One More Time music video came out, and it was like, they can play this on TV?
I believe it was a heart on the lower left portion of her tummy. If memory.
Is that what that was?
Photograph.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, it became, wow. It was everything. And then,
Dude, wait, did it cross your mind as a grown man now going, I think she was 16 laying down in a high school hallway?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
What kind of matters?
No, doesn't matter to me because that was,
We were
I was a kid too.
I know, but looking back now, I'm like,
Well, sure. But, I apply the rule of I do not need to go to confession for this. I was also a child. The Pink Power Ranger. The Pink Ranger was one. And don't ask me the actress's name. I don't know. It was just Kimberly, the Pink Power Ranger. That was it. That was her. She was there. And then,
whoa.
Yep. There's a reason why Power Rangers was awesome.
And literally,
it was not the special effects. I'll tell you that.
My first 90s crush was Kimberly.
Yep.
From the Power Rangers.
1,000%.
Completely unaware of this one.
And then also it was just, listen, I watched professional wrestling at a time when there were a lot of very talented and beautiful women in professional wrestling. And so the Trish Stratus, Stacy Keeblers, Tori Wilsons of the world, yeah, they were there too. And I went, mom and dad were like, no, go do something else until the Undertaker's back on.
Go watch the Power Rangers, apparently.
And I was like, well, hold on, let me just see what's happening here. What's this match? What's this match about? So those were like the big five, I would say, that kind of shaped Josh's childhood of first crushes.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. I mentioned a few of mine, but there's also a few others that ruined me when I was a kid.
Oh God, there's something to say there. I'm not going to say it, but
thank you.
Blue Chew.
Well, you said it, didn't you? I love that you just out loud and on video, you went, oh, there's something there. I'm not going to say it. And then you turned your head and went, Blue Chew.
Well, because I didn't say, that's all I had to say. That's enough.
There's two that come to mind right away.
Okay.
And I can't be the only one. I'm not. I already saw this come through on the Nicolay Law talking text line a couple times. Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, of course.
And Tiffany Amber Thiessen, which apparently is just now Tiffany Thiessen, aged really well.
Yeah. But also, like those were the girls, right? Like they were there. Yeah.
Lark Voorhees, shout out to Lisa Turtle. And then the other one that was just immediately top of mind was Topanga.
Yep.
From Boy Meets World. Danielle Fishel. And she's still around and still looks really good. When I was younger, it was Stephanie on Full House. Remember her? I don't know her real name.
I remember Stephanie from Full House. She never was like the crush for me, but I remember her.
But I was really, when I was younger, not
Sure.
like teenage, like, oh, she's pretty. I'm going to keep going.
Yep, keep going.
Jenny McCarthy from MTV Singled Out.
Yes.
Okay. I like how you have your arms crossed. For those not watching on YouTube and Twitter, Josh has his arms crossed.
It's taking everything in my power to just
stay on target. And went, yes.
Stay on target.
Yes. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law talk and text line. There's some great ones coming in.
The 920. The women of Baywatch. Pick one.
Pick one. I didn't even see it. I just said pick one. And they said pick one.
Doesn't even which one? Yes.
All right, here we go. Let's start at the beginning. Are you reading Trevor's troll?
I am. I just saw it.
Trevor's troll. Trevor's crush was Andre Dawson.
He doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss.
And we don't even come close to reading everything he sends. We can't. We don't have time.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's good. Whew.
Okay. You good? You better?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So here's the problem. I don't know all of these. So in the moment, I'm going to Google them.
Okay.
Do I need to get rid of the Wi-Fi at work here for a hot second? Who's Chrissy Everett?
I also don't know who Chrissy Everett is.
Chrissy Everett. That's not the Chrissy Everett you're mentioning, I hope. Bob in Minneapolis has like 4 text messages right in a row here.
Oh God, Bob.
We're just gonna make a read here. Debbie Harry. I'm nervous to start reading these names now because
I know.
I feel like
because we don't know who
Bart
they are.
Simpson's calling the bar.
I-
Kathy Ireland.
Yep.
Totally understand. Yep. Okay, here they go. This is now I'm starting to know.
I love that there were enough that he goes, crushes continued.
Crushes continued.
Bob in Minneapolis has so many, had this list ready to go. He has
understood the assignment.
I've got part 2. Here you go.
The band camp girl from American Pie. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, but that's not the one I would have chosen out of American Pie.
Sure.
But I understand why I did, I think. The woman in the Big Bang Theory. Yes. But that was more of an adult crush.
Right. Well, depending on your age, I guess.
What's her name?
Are you talking about Kaylee Cuoco?
Probably.
Yeah. Penny. Here's Penny in the show.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
Who else?
I mean,
Christy Brinkley.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me see who this was. If you're of a certain age and you were able to have Megan Fox looking in the Transformer under the hood of the Camaro in Transformers, congratulations on a great first crush. I mean, that's good for you. That's great.
They were never the same when she decided not to come back.
No,
Jeff
neither
from
were we.
Luxembourg, another vote for Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell. Number 1 for this guy for sure. There's another Kelly Kapowski from Tommy and Stallis. Farrah Fawcett makes the list. You're aging yourself.
It's okay. It's okay to do that. Grandpa in Sem Prairie did that too. He said, "'Cause I'm old." And he goes, Linda Carter, Farrah Fawcett, Valerie Bertinelli. Now it went away. He had another one, but too many texts coming in. Didn't see
Jacob in a van. Jessica Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the Daisy Duke, the OG Daisy Duke.
Yep. Wearing the Daisy Dukes.
Look at this list, Josh. Christina Applegate from the 414. Like Christina Applegate in Married with Children.
Yep.
That was a problem. And when I say problem, I just mean
a great problem.
Adolescence.
Yeah.
You watched certain shows for certain reasons. Alyssa Milano from Charles in Charge. See that like, yes, old school Melissa Milano. The girls in Step by Step, JB and the 920, they were underrated. I now want to.
You're creating homework for yourself.
No. Here's the problem. You read this stuff out loud, and now all of the things are listening.
Oh, yeah. Algorithms are screwed.
Yeah, TikTok's screwed.
Yep.
Daniel Official, Topanga. Absolutely. The big 3 from the 262. We've listed them all. Look at this. We're all on the same page. Kelly Kapowski, the Pink Power Ranger, and Topanga, Nick and Tosa.
I mean, that's our age range Mount Rushmore, right? Like those are the big 3 of our age range.
Right. We got to put these on a Mount Rushmore. The childhood crush Mount Rushmore. I know that Mount Rushmore thing is overplayed in sports a lot, but I think we might be able to get there with the childhood crushes.
We probably could.
Kelly Kapowski absolutely is on the Mount Rushmore.
100%.
Topanga is absolutely on the Mount Rushmore.
See, I would say Pink Power Ranger is, but you didn't even know. You were unaware. Which is wild to me.
I know. But we are about almost 10 years apart. So
that's true.
There's just a few of those that I think you were still in that adolescent.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
43. You're 35?
Yeah, I'll be 36 in a couple of weeks. But yeah, so that's
8-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
Honorable mention to Jennifer Aniston in Friends. And if you know, you know.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Do you know?
I know.
Cold.
Yeah.
Very cold set.
Well known.
Yeah. That's my wife's favorite television show. And I don't hate it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, watch an episode or two.
I do not pause, but I do stop in my tracks from time to time.
And grab the remote out of her hand. Hold on. Pause.
Yeah, hold on. What is it? What is it? I just, that coffee mug moved from the previous scene and nobody touched it.
I think they made a mistake there in the show. Let me take a picture of that I'll Google it later.
So my personal texts are blowing up behind the scenes. Here's 2 from my buddy Brett. Sable from the WWF.
Yeah.
Was that on your list?
Yeah. Well, man, I'm telling you, you could take all of them from them, but yes.
Miss Elizabeth? Was she on the WWF?
Yeah, of course. You know Miss Elizabeth.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Was that Ronick? Is that his wife's name is Elizabeth? Sable, WWF.
Currently married to Brock Lesnar, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
But she was like 90s.
Some of these you got to click image. Stephanie McMahon, shout out. But I wasn't a kid anymore. See, now we're getting into the I'm a little older type of thing.
Jacob in the van says underrated Hillary Duff. Yes, times a million. But like, especially like coming back out of the woodwork, it was like, because she didn't go crazy, which was really nice to see. Like when Britney was like one of your first crushes, and then you see her shaving her head and losing her mind and everything. You're like, oh man, that's unfortunate for everyone.
Stacy Keebler, all-time favorite from my buddy Brett. Here's another one. I'm going to leave this person nameless. Pick one. Pick one from the JCPenney catalog.
Oh, God. Okay. Well,
I hate that I know exactly what he's talking about.
We've reached a completely different level.
Well, no, we don't have to go down that path. We can stay on target here. Stay on target.
Are you sure? I feel like we're losing it.
Well, okay, Mr. Blue Chew. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. Halle Berry and Swordfish. It's a good one.
I'm thinking about like, yes, while these are all nice, were these your crushes? Like, I'm trying to figure out like age ranges. Because like, yes, of course, we all know what you're talking about when you say that. But like crush, because that was the thing that was like still innocent about, I think, like when we talk about the Pink Ranger and Kelly Kapowski, and that's different than Halle Berry and Swordfish. You know what I mean?
Depending on your age, maybe. Yes, and I understand. Yeah, it's like childhood crush was the idea, but
right,
leave it to us to.
Yeah, right. Now all of a sudden we're going to JC
We got time for a few more.
JCPenney catalog.
Lizzie McGuire, Hillary Duff. That's a good example.
Yep.
There's another one that I read earlier. Melissa Joan Hart. Clarissa Explains It All, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Of course. Yep.
So this is where the intent. But
Jeremy from Racine, Marsha from the Brady Bunch. Yep.
Absolutely do not Google Amanda Bynes. There's a great example of a childhood crush that has disappointed all of us.
Yeah, I mean she's definitely up there with you. Just if you go, oh man. Also, I got a point 310 in all caps. How have we not mentioned the women of Baywatch? We have. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in.
Pick one. All right, last one. Then we're going to go to break and talk more Brewers, which, by the way, somebody was just like, why is Trevor complaining about the Brewers all morning? You're not listening. That is not what's happening. Oh, okay, 2 more. Jeez. Let's screw it. We're not taking any more breaks. Let's just talk about this the rest of the show.
No, we can't do that.
Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Oh, sure. I'm familiar, actually.
That's a miss. Like, that is not one that is real quick top of mind, but looking back.
Well, I mean, the thing is because people are going to look at, people in our age range and go, how did you watch? But we had Nick at Night. I had Nick at Night, bro. Like, Nick at Night had all the old shows, right? Like, that's how I knew about the Jeffersons and the Brady Bunches and the Gilligan's Island. I'm familiar. Okay.
What?
Just the one that just came in.
No, not doing that.
Not
last
going
one.
there. Nope.
Last one. Then I'm going to read one more text I just got, which is our cue to get out of this.
Hold on. Before I'm going to go, we need to show some love on the other side. Carrie and Tosa, female viewpoint, Rob Lowe in The Outsiders, John Stamos in Full House, Ralph Macchio, Karate Kid. Those also are good. Good on you. Those are good ones.
All right. One more name, and then I got to read a text from you or a text from someone that just texted me, and then we're out. Honorable mention, Wendy Peppercorn.
Sure. See that?
Sandlot.
Yep.
And right on cue, I got a text message from my pastor who says, Trevor, when you're in a hole, stop digging.
Oh, boy. Yep. Yep.
We didn't dig a hole.
Your pastor's like, remember when Josh said Pink Power Ranger? Should have cut it off right there. That could have been the end. Could have been the end of it. You want to get out of the hole, put down the shovel.
But it's fun.
JB in the 920. I wonder what Sparky's thinking about right now as he listens. Well, I'll tell you, he's probably thinking, who is the Pink Power Ranger? That's my thought.
You just Googled it, actually. Yeah. That's exactly. Sparky, we know you're listening. Text us your childhood crush. We'll share it on the other side. And I guarantee you he's listening, and he maybe won't text us, but he has one. We'll see if he admits it. We'll let you know. Do the Brewers need a bat or a pitcher? And did last night prove one way or the other? We'll discuss when we get back. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We're done digging. What is this?
I don't know.
Is this a bag of bumps?
This is in the bag of bumps.
Is this our bump?
No.
What happened to our bag of bumps?
It's gone. Someone stole our bag of bumps.
We didn't get a text from the boss.
No, we didn't. That's a good thing.
Kind of a bad thing, too, because a lot of people wanted to know who Sparky's crush was.
Oh, we can still figure that out.
Josh and I knew when we first started this that we should have a sounder that from the boss that said, boys, back to sports.
Yeah. Sports.
We're on it. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh. The Brewers were unimpressive last night from the plate.
Mm-hmm.
One could argue both ways, which we will. Do we think that's proof that we need a bat moving forward? Or is the fact that the Brewers' bats went cold even more of a reason to say that we need to go and get a pitcher who makes other teams' bats go cold?
Yeah, and let's preface this by saying, for everyone that's going to comment on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line that's in their feels that didn't have enough time enjoying the last segment, that's going to go, will you guys calm down? Listen, we're aware that they won the first 2 games of this 4-game series. They still have a chance to avoid a split today. We know. Okay? We know that the last time that they were close to being no-hit, they ended up winning that game. We know. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about it, and we're not going to look at this, which was my point, of an example of what could be. What we're used to seeing, what we have seen in the postseason the last couple years. So, what's the best way to fix that to make sure that things like this don't happen?
We dove into the previous 20 games that the Brewers have played. How many hits, wins, losses, number of runs, and tried to find some sort of commonality. Well, there's one big one that sticks out right away. And the commonality has to do with who we have pitching when the other team's bats go cold. And you would go, oh, well, that must be Mizorowski and Kyle Harrison. Well, the answer to that is, yeah, it is. Like big time proof. May 31st, May 26th, May 20th. We shut out the Cubs at Wrigley. We shut out the Cardinals. We shut out the Astros. And that's all thanks to our pitching. But let's look at this from the opposite direction. The Brewers' 6 losses in the last 20-game stretch. Who was the starting pitcher?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it?
Robert Gasser has 3 of them, including last night. Brandon Sproat has 2 of them. And proof that it's not always capable with good pitchers. We lost a game May 13th against the Padres that the Miz started. But if that doesn't solidify that it's about pitching in regards to cold bats, then nothing does. And someone, no, I don't know Pink Floyd. Trevor doesn't know Pink Floyd? No, did you hear me talk about Backstreet Boys? Digress.
He didn't know who Pink Ranger was.
Should have.
I didn't know either. I didn't know it was Pink Floyd.
Somebody texted in on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250. The Brewers need a bat over a pitcher. We rank last in the MLB in home runs. Okay, pause. We just scored 16 runs in a game on June 1st against the Giants without any home runs. We had 18 hits, 16 runs, and won 16-2. I'm just saying, I don't think in this moment bats are the answer when we're having so much success with the top of the level pitchers that we are.
I'm not saying that your argument of having a pitcher is wrong, but I think your reasoning for it I disagree with. When it comes to postseason baseball, which, again, that's the goalpost with this team, right? Like, this has changed from when we were getting a CC Sabathia. The goalpost for getting CC Sabathia was make it to the postseason. Get back there. They did that. Mission accomplished. Now you've built a franchise that is doing that consistently. It's that next step. It's finally getting a World Series, getting back to the World Series. I don't think the idea of just being able to get on base, bunt a guy over, get him home works as well in that scenario. So you can say that, yeah, okay, but if we get a pitcher, we can make the other team go ice cold. Sure. But you're asking our offense, our lineup, to be able to take advantage of a pitcher multiple times to get that run in comparison to having a power bat that can, with one swing, change the momentum of a game on one mistake that pitcher makes. And we see that happen way, way too often in postseason baseball, where you have an elite pitcher on the mound and they make one mistake, and that's the one that they pay for. And you see games end 3-1, 2-1 in postseason, or that's what starts it, and then it gets to the bullpen, and then it's over. But to get that starting pitcher out, which is what the Brewers struggled to do against the Dodgers. Remember, the Dodgers, it was their starting rotation that we just could not get out of the game. They had guys almost go complete games twice in those 4 games against us.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to have guys that are going to be able to swing that momentum immediately. A Skubal doesn't do that. You can get, last night we saw Webb was pitching lights out, just like the Dodgers pitchers were against us in the NLCS. We got a base hit. Terrain got on. Yelich got a double against the Giants, but it wasn't a home run. It wasn't a run. They didn't get that in. Sometimes you need to be able to have that threat, which is the argument for adding a bat.
The 217 on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Good news, Josh. We have people on each of our sides. This one's interesting, though, and they started by saying, let me stir the pot for a bit. This is Zach in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
If the Brewers do make a push for Tarek Skubal, does it worry either of us about him staying healthy given his history of arm injuries? If the Brewers go all in and he gets hurt, well, then what? Yeah, Zach, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. We would obviously need to see him pitch, and it sounds like his arm issues have been fixed. Ron Burgundy?
All right,
we got to see him pitch. We don't know. The 262 follows up your rant, Josh, and says pitching wins games.
Didn't last night.
But then the 262 right below that talks about how one power bat will not make a difference if we don't have good pitching. Scroll down a little bit, and there are people that are voting bats. Trevor, name the last team to win a World Series that didn't hit over 199 home runs in a season. The answer is the 2015 Kansas City Royals. They hit 139 home runs, and they won the World Series.
Yeah, and they were the anomaly, though, right? Like, that was over 10 years ago, and that's still the team that we refer to because that's what we were hoping with these bites of the apple that the Brewers would be able to do. We would be able to do what the Royals were able to do not only in 2015, but in 2014. People forget, they went there and lost the World Series the year before, and then they went back again, and the next year won it. So, you know, it's a little bit different. But I do have to say, if you look at, like, this is why I always said, and this is the hardest thing to control, but the hot team. You don't need to have future Hall of Famers and guys on the teams that have won a million World Series already and have rings like the Dodgers do. If you have the hot team, if your offense is hot, right? That's what screwed the Brewers in 2011. David Freese. Who the hell is David Freese? No one knew. But then he ends up being the World Series MVP for the Cardinals. He was the guy that destroyed the Brewers to get there. We're going, who is this guy? If the Brewers were able to have that luck of being hot at the same time, at the right time, then sure. Then you don't need a bat. Then you don't need to worry about having these type of people in place. The Brewers lineup hasn't been that. They haven't done that. And so that's what's leading me to say, if you really want to make a push, you got to be able to have a guy that's going to be one of those guys, one of these consistent hitters, because you don't know if you're going to get hot at the right time. And over the last 8 to 9 years, we haven't.
Listen to this from T3. Who's T3, you ask? Trevor's Troll the Third.
Oh, good. There's another one.
Oh, there's another one. All right. Trevor, in all caps. I hate so much about the way you choose to be. Well, way to not start it off with being personal.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't you understand that when you are in the postseason where hits are much fewer and further between, having a beefy home run hitter means you score 1 run instantly within the same probability of getting a hit? And then they go on to say, why are you the way you are? T3, you don't got enough time for me to answer that question.
Yeah.
Of course I understand. I understand that baseball is 1 hit or 1 home run away from things being different. That would have been the case last night. We wouldn't be having the conversation about where Murph maybe screwed up in the 8th if Gary Sanchez would have hit a dinger right there and we won the game 3-1. But we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And we also couldn't hit against a very good pitcher last night. It's cake and eat it too. Would we both agree that if we could get a big bat and a really good pitcher, we would take both?
Well, of course. Who doesn't want both? Here's the other thing, and I can't believe no one's asked this yet, because this is, anytime I put any argument out there, the first thing people say is this. Well, who are you going to get? Give me a name. Give me a name, Josh. Huh? You want to get someone who? You want a big bat? Fine, tell me who. Who are you going to get? I don't know. I never know. It's not my job to know. It's June. I don't know what teams are going to be sellers yet. I don't know any of that information. It's who Barry Bonds. Like, shut up. I don't know who's available yet. So I'm not looking at that. If I'm focusing on it, on the Brewers making a decision on June 4th, then yeah, you're going to lean Skubal because that's the name that's out there. There's not a big power bat that teams are dangling by a hook going, huh? Who wants this guy? That's not out there yet. Doesn't mean it won't be.
The reason that's asked, though, is because we keep name dropping Tarek Skubal.
Because he's the fish that's dangling from a hook in front of our faces.
Last one before we take a break from Bob in Minneapolis. It'll be a miracle if they pick up anyone. Do you think that's true?
As much as I like to hate on Bob's pessimism, it is a point that needs to be said. We're talking here as if we have a franchise that makes these type of moves. This is very not Matt Arnold-esque to go all in. He is a draft and develop kind of guy, and he's done that and found success.
Yeah,
I don't know that he'll make any move.
2-3 weeks ago, we were both like, I think the way the Brewers make moves is by bringing up their farm system, which, by the way, has some capable bats.
Yeah, so freaking do it and send Blake Perkins down and bring some of these guys up.
Bag of bumps, please.
I'm fine.
Pass your bag of bumps. This one I know.
Oh, there you go.
We apologize to those watching on YouTube, Twitter, and the Facebook that you can't hear the bag of bumps because they have licensing.
Hashtag licensing.
We can't play the bag of bumps on the YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and say it's Rami because that seems like the safe bet.
You know, at this point, I almost want it to be Rami. Like, just keep the streak going. You know,
we'll find out. Rami or John Kuhn? Not sure. We'll cross over with 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. I wish it was a 50-50 shot. It's not. Stay tuned. We're going to ask them who their childhood crush was. I don't care who it is.
Andre
We're live
Dawson,
from the
probably.
Wisconsin. What'd you say?
Andre Dawson, probably.
Shot it. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Hey, Wendy's has a new cookie dough frosty fusion, and it is the ultimate feel-good snack. Trust me, I can tell you this. Got one for Jordy the other day. Kid absolutely lost his mind. It is so freaking good. Everything from the cookie dough to the brownie batter sauce was made for max happiness. Go grab a new cookie dough frosty fusion for yourself today and get that dopamine flowing. For the ultimate feel-good snack, it's got to be Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. After your stop at Wendy's, go check out Tommy Wirtz in the leadoff show at the Explorium Distilled in the Deer District today, starting at noon, before Milwaukee and the Giants play the final game of the 4-game set this afternoon at 1:10. After the game, you can go back, watch, and listen to the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz as they broadcast live from 4 to 6 at the Explorium Distilled in the Deer District.
There you go.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. John Kuhn joining us now from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. Up next on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We had a bit of a conversation, John, earlier in the show when we were kids, like that 11, 12, 13-year-old range.
Yeah.
Childhood crushes. Who was yours?
What'd you guys pick?
Well, we want to know yours first, then we'll tell you.
Yeah, we probably share it, to be honest. We rattled off about 64.
Really?
Yeah, there were a lot.
Hey, you guys, you were busy boys back then.
Oh, we sure were.
Give me two.
Dominique Mucciano.
Okay.
Googling.
I was waiting for a reaction.
I don't know that I know that name. Stand by. Oh, yep. So gymnast on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
Yep.
So that's when I was a kid. Like,
yep.
You're talking 11, 12, 13.
Yes, I am.
That's what we're talking about. Yep.
That's what we're talking about.
Trying to think around that time, too. I know Britney Spears popped up, but that was much later, right? That was probably 17, 18, 19 was when Britney was, she was platinum with her album and everything else. I don't know. I don't know who else and again, you guys have me thinking 11, 12, 13 years old. I don't know if I was as horny as you boys were.
Well, John, let me tell you, we found out we sure were. Yeah. So for me, first of all, I mean, Kelly Kapowski was.
Oh, that's a great one. I didn't think of that one.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
See, you're going to have to jog my memory from 11.
Okay, here's another one. Topanga.
Are you familiar with Topanga?
I do. I am. And I was trying to pick which one. I'm doing power rankings in my head right now.
Oh, you're sure. Yeah, I know you guys do random power rankings.
Well, I'm trying to figure out here, Kelly Kapowski or Topanga, which one? And
Kapowski.
I probably go Topanga.
Oh, really?
Now we're going 11, 12, 13 again. How about Winnie Cooper?
See, somebody mentioned that on the talking text line. I was like, oh, man, that was a miss.
Okay, let me ask you this one.
If you guys are going 11, 12, 13, this is some stuff now.
Well, that was 11, 12, 13. I was even younger than that. What about the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, Power Rangers? Did you ever dabble? Are you familiar?
How did you know the Pink Power Ranger was a girl?
Because she became like the Pink Ranger. Like you still saw all the kids without their.
Oh, you saw a person? I never saw Power Rangers one time in my life.
Oh boy, did you miss out!
Every time I saw Power Rangers, they were all wearing helmets. So I didn't know.
Not all the time.
I didn't know the pink one was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
What started this was Anna Kournikova.
Yeah. That she randomly quote unquote came across on Trevor's TikTok algorithm randomly, John. Yeah.
What do you think? I'm searching for Anna Kournikova just on a random Wednesday afternoon?
No, I'm sure there weren't other videos that came up first. Nope.
I would like to know what they are. John, what's coming up from 9 to noon?
Well, now I'm stuck in the one.
He's like, I don't know. I don't care.
What's coming up on 9 to noon? Well, Micah Parsons said yesterday, don't expect to see him in September. Does that mean we might not see him in October? And the Brewers, they lost yesterday. It was kind of ho-hum, but yeah, they're still chugging right along. So we'll get into some Brewers talk as well as the latest Giannis rumors and kind of dabble along those lines throughout the course of the show.
Awesome. 9 to noon. John Kuhn, Rami Makloff coming up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. A lot of debate about Brewers, bats, and pitchers. We'll continue that tomorrow. Tim Allen joins us. We'll get his take on the difference between what a bat brings to the crew and if we were to have another pitcher. We've talked about it before, but now we've got some real-life examples to share with him. 1:10, the pitch today. Brewers, Giants, the end of a 4-game set. We'll see how it shakes out. We've been live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Our thanks to all of you for chiming in. Respectfully to all the other shows. Nobody gets as many texts as we do, and that's because of you, and we appreciate it. Stay tuned. 9 to noon is next. It's Trevor and Josh, and it's Inside Wisconsin Sports. See you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.